Welcome to the Executive's View, the sports podcast where the stakes are high and the debates are fierce. Please welcome your host, Aaron Sirius Simmons, alongside co-host Barry DeVille Jordan. Each week, we bring you into the boardroom where the elite minds of sports converge. From the gridiron strategies to the business behind the ball, we tackle the hard-hitting questions and give you an insider's perspective. So pull up a chair and join us at the table where champions are made and legends are born. This is the Executive's View. Let's get down to business.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Executive's View. This is the view from on top. You could be anywhere in the world on a Tuesday night, but you're here with the executives, and I do appreciate that. You guys know how I get down, man. If you see the show, share the show. We're all over the place, man. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, TikTok. We're doing big things in big places, and definitely want to take everybody along for the journey. I don't do this by myself, man. I got a slew of brothers that are here ready to talk about everything around the world of sports. My man Villain is bing-bonging himself in the bed. What's going on, my guy? How we doing, sir? Yeah.
Bing bong. What up? We here, man. Let's go.
I will say this. I am pleasantly surprised, and we'll dive into that here in a little bit, but the New York Knicks are one win away from punching their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes, sir.
But we'll talk about that in a minute, man. Coach is in the building on time. Jesus, what is going on here? What's going on, Coach? How we doing, sir?
Look, I was late because I needed to have my setup. I gotta have like the game in the background. I gotta get my drink. I gotta get my stuff. Had to get something nice to drink today, villain. You know, had to get something nice.
That's right. Bing bong.
Bing bong. And Larry's in the building. What's going on, my guy? How we doing, sir?
Man, I'm good, man. Steve giving me these real Miami Vice vibes over here, man.
They got the old Florida Marlins hat, you know what I'm saying? All the colors on the shirt.
He's looking like he real Miamian over here, man.
Tell you what, shout out to the homie Chandler, man. He's probably gonna be listening. He ain't gonna be able to join us tonight. But prayers up to him. Hopefully he's continuing to progress. Before we even get started, I know Villain and Coach will have a lot to say about this, but in the wrestling world, we lost Sabu. I believe it was yesterday. Icon in industry, icon in the sport, big in ECW. I wanted to start the show by paying respects to him. Villain, talk to me, man. Where's your head at with this, man? WWE World lost a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked. He had just had a retirement match. I think we were talking about it a month ago, and died at my daughter was like, well, he lived a long life. I was like, not long enough, man. 60 years old is
60's not long, baby. Yeah.
He's not long, boo. So prayers up to him. One of the ECW legends. A lot of great rivalries with Eddie Guerrero, with Rey Mysterio, Taz, those guys at ECW. So it's unfortunate. You never know. When your number's called.
Yeah. Coach, talk to me, man. Where's your head at with this one, man?
So I'll make this quick because I know we got a lot of other stuff to get to, but it's like just seeing all the tributes and people posting stuff like that. It's funny how like you consume so much of something that some things kind of go through the cracks. Somebody posted an old match of Sabu and Too Cold Scorpio.
Ooh.
Wow.
That look, I was like, man, now Too Cold Scorpio, that's a different story altogether. We can talk about him all that, but seeing those two go at it, the barbed wire, just the high flying act, it's like Sabu was one of one. There'll never be another like him ever. He was unique in his style and in his promo work and everything. It's just like 60 years old is not old. It's just and he was all beat up and just like, but people say, oh, I left it all out there. I gave it all to something. Sabu literally gave it all to the business of professional wrestling. And he'll be dearly missed because it's just like Sabu did things that probably should have killed him in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, he did some crazy stuff, and it took its toll on his body and his mind. I'm sure over time, and it's just a sad ending for just a great wrestler and great human being.
Yeah.
And if you can ever get a hold of his memoirs, it's a really good read. So any wrestling
Mhm.
fan, just not just a fan, just you don't even have to be a wrestling fan, just a fan of somebody who truly made it out of the mud to live his dream. I recommend. I forget the name of it, but like Sabu's memoirs is a good read.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Larry doesn't really deal with wrestling, so we'll move right along here.
I mean, I saw a little bit of this stuff. I mean, you gotta remember I am the senior person on the team right now until come
Are
back.
you 46? Stop it.
I'm the
Get the hell
senior.
out of here, man. Get the hell out of
I
here.
tell you, man, I used to watch up until the time I discovered real sports. But yeah, man,
Real
prayers up,
sports.
man. It's sad, man, because you see a lot of these wrestlers and they die way too soon. So prayers up for him and his family.
Yeah. In the third quarter right now, just to keep you guys updated, the Indiana Pacers got an 86-76 lead on the Cleveland Cavs, so
Walking
that's a
Dead.
10-point lead.
Snatching their soul.
That's a
Walking
Snatching their
Dead.
soul.
recurring theme
It's
in this
it's
series.
it
Pacers have a
really
lead.
is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
before
Well,
we
that's
start
that's
talking,
when you call somebody overrated.
we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get
Getting
to
to
that in
that.
a
Yeah.
minute. Trust me. Switching gears here, gentlemen. I'm not going to mix words here. I kind of already told you guys where my head was at with this situation, but the MLB decided to lift and reinstate the ban that kept Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson out of the Hall of Fame. Um, I'm gonna try to go last here because I kind of want to allow myself to simmer. Larry, talk to me, my guy. Where's your head at with this nonsense, bro?
Man, y'all don't want my real opinion, man. I was trying to be nice today, man. I'm trying to be good. So I don't know. Hey,
Man, we got church folks that be watching, so you gotta be
dude,
good.
I mean, like we just said, man, I'm the senior person, man. So I'm a quote the great Flavor Flav when he said 911 was a joke. The Baseball Hall of Fame is a fucking joke, bro. I mean, excuse my language, Mama Jordan, but it's a
Yes.
joke, man. It's like one of the things to me is like they been knew they was gonna do this. I'm being real with y'all.
Right.
They been knew they was gonna do
Absolutely.
this, right?
Absolutely.
But you wait for the man to kick the bucket, bro. You wait for the man to kick the bucket and then decide you're gonna do it, right? And I'm one of them people that I get it. Let the punishment fit the crime, bro. Like they could have did some kind of resolution to this long time ago. And even like with the Shoeless Joe Jack, man, that dude been dead like 100 years, bro. Like this is the part that pisses me off, and I'm not just talking about the Babe Ruth, the Pete Rose aspect of it, right? The Shoeless Joe Jackson, right? This dude, they literally have on the record he was not part of the fix, right? But he was also part of the one who the owner was basically shafting them on getting paid. Is the owner not in the Hall of Fame? No, he's in there. Comiskey's in there. He's in there. So it's okay to shaft your players, but it's not okay for them to say, you know what, we're gonna throw a game because we ain't got paid. Like your check didn't cash, but you still go to work and do your job, even though we don't know if your check gonna ever get cash. And it's like, to me, it's one of the things, man. It just makes baseball look more and more like a joke every single time when it comes to the Hall of Fame. The one you gotta damn near be perfect to get in is like, okay, now
That's weird because if I don't want to cut you off, but it's weird because if you look up and down the guys that are in the Hall of Fame,
dude,
perfection and squeaky clean.
how many years we all sit back and talk about like why this guy not in the Hall of Fame? Why this guy not why does guy have to get 99.9% of the vote to even get in? Like, bro, it's like, to me, it's one of the things where Baseball Hall of Fame just look even more stupider to me because I'm a Barry Bonds fan. You can't tell me Barry Bonds not a Hall of Famer. I don't give a damn about the steroids. I don't give a damn about none of the other stuff. You can't tell me this dude is not a Hall of Famer. Dude, Steve, we from Houston. You can't tell me Roger Clemens ain't no damn Hall of Famer before the Royals.
Well, of course. Same thing with Bonds. Before the Royals, like he was a Hall of Famer. So like whatever.
Hall of Famer. So make it make sense. Put some damn common sense and say, you know what? Look, Shoeless Joe, yeah, there's a whole lot of evidence he wasn't part of the fix. He was on the team. Common sense say, put the man in. Dude, common sense say, Pete Rose, yeah, you made a mistake, but he was bet on his team to win. But Pete Rose, the manager, and Pete Rose, the player, is two different things. Pete Rose, the player, is a Hall of Famer, bro. I don't give. Point blank. And that's just how I look at it, bro. That's how I look at it.
I respect it. Villain, talk to me, my guy. Where's your head at with all this, my man?
I mean, it was all petty, right, Larry? Like, because you know, Pete denied it and lied about it and stood on it and stood fast on it. And they were like, "You gonna keep lying? All right, we're gonna be petty just like you, and we're not gonna let you in the Hall of Fame." Even when he did admit that he did it, they still were in the house of petty. You know what I mean? So I just look at it like, what's the point? I love Pete Rose as a player, Charlie Hustle, man. You can't write the history of baseball without Charlie Hustle. Shoeless Joe Jackson, for y'all young bucks that don't know, was one of the greatest hitters of his era, if not the greatest. And now, almost 100 years later, you make him eligible for what? For what? Why? He's going to reap the benefits of that. His family, his kids, kids. Like you're talking generations upon generations after that guy retired that would reap the benefits of him being a Hall of Famer. It makes no sense. Like why are we? And you waited until Pete Rose passed away. I mean, you. Not, I won't even say put an olive branch out there, but you kind of, backtracked it a little bit by allowing him to be in the greatest players that they had, that celebration that he got. And he got his flowers. At least he got that, right, guys? Like he got to, absorb that love from the crowd and everything like that. But then you were still petty about it. It was just petty that you didn't let him get into the Hall of Fame after there was it was a good feeling around it. There was a discussion around him possibly getting into the Hall of Fame, and here we are. I hope he gets in because he deserves it. It's like Larry says, as a player, there's players that deserve to get in. We all know about it, but like, I feel like the Hall of Fame is the Hall of Good now. Like a lot of the players are good enough, but not great. So they're Hall of Good. So I think the whole Hall of Fame is a sham, to be honest with you. So, is the first thing I thought of when I saw it came across my feed and I sent it to you guys. It was like, it's BS. Like, for what? You know what I mean? Like, at this point, for what? What are we doing here? So, he deserves to be in, but it's a joke either way. Even if he got in or he didn't get in, it would be a joke.
So, I'm a guy who likes looking at things, right? I want to show you guys something that was floating around. Pete Rose penned a plea to Rob Manfred 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Begging. Saying he apologized many times, both for betting on baseball games while managing the Cincinnati Reds, and everything else. The two most important people in my life, my dad and my manager, Sparky. My dad introduced me to baseball. I mean, he lays it out in this whole thing. He closes the letter, and I'm going to read this whole thing. He closes the letter by saying, "I'm asking for forgiveness. Despite my many mistakes, I'm so proud of what I accomplished as a baseball player. I am the hit king, and it is my dream to be considered for the Hall of Fame like all of us. I believe in accountability. I'm 81 years old, and I know that I've been held accountable, and I hold myself accountable. I right now to ask for another chance." And Rob Manfred pretty much told him to go F himself. So now, 2 years removed, since he's passed on, you want to lift the ban that will get him into the Hall of Fame? So Villain's point, why? Why? You can't sit here and tell me that there are those that are in the Hall of Fame now, and again, we talked about this, that are squeaky clean. There are races, there are There are people that juice. There are people that did a plethora of different things in the Hall of Fame right now. Okay. And Pete Rose, multiple times, has tried to get into the Hall of Fame while he was alive so he can enjoy it, so he can be a beacon of hope where he can say, you know what, I effed up, but this is how you come back, young person. I effed up, but this is how you come back, young man, young lady. And at every pass, Rod Manford and the commissioner of baseball was like, nah, nah. But now that he's gone, now it's good. Did this letter sit in his on his desk for 2.5 years and all of a sudden resurface in his email? I am completely disgusted by it all. Like, miss me with this whole we want to give him an opportunity to, now get in the Hall of Fame. Why? 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 For Shooters Jackson, again, the brother's been, passed on for several years now. Why is the name even being brought up? Why? Like, I am a firm believer, okay, that if you have the opportunity to give a man or a woman or however they choose to identify as their flowers while they are here, you do that. Unless there is some egregious reason as to why, or God forbid, some unforeseen situation takes them home early. Pete Rose tried for the better part of the last 15 years of his life to get to the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Coach, you and Villain, we know of a homie that actually met him and they had that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he kept talking about, wanting to get to the hall. And I felt when this letter came out that Manford would be like, you know what, 81, he only has a couple more years left. Let's get him in there. But to come out 2 years removed, and I'm ticked off about it, man. Coach, talk to me, man. Where's your head at?
So I hate to be that guy, but it's like I remember when Pete Rose first passed away, I was like, well, it's a lifetime ban. He's passed away now.
So like,
Watch now they wait to put him in the Hall of Fame.
I remember you saying that too.
Yeah, so so it's like I said that this doesn't shock me. That doesn't make me any less irritated at it. It's just when you think of lifetime bans, like that, again, there are other people, but the first two names that come to mind are Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose, because as players, what they did, Shoeless Joe Jackson, people don't realize he is still top 10 in batting average
Yeah.
all time. Still. We talked a whole lot about like how long he's been dead. Something else that like he is still top 10 career batting average. Still. This is one of the greatest people to ever pick up a baseball bat and swing it. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's deserved to be in the Hall of Fame a long time. Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He is one of the best pure just baseball players. He played the game at 100 miles an hour at the plate, in the field, just everything. I mean, this is a guy who sadly ended somebody's career in an All-Star game. That's just what kind of player Pete Rose was. And all respect to Ray Fosse, but it's like again, that's just what kind of player Pete Rose was. And the fact that we have to remember something now, he still has to be voted in. And I've
Yeah.
been very vocal about look, I can say this without swearing, I want to, but like the nerds who still are gatekeeping the Hall of Good, as Barry called it. Is like again, we can go on and on. The Baseball
All
Hall of
of did you
Fame,
kiss my ass?
the Hall of Fame,
That.
the Hall of Fame is full of drug addicts and sexual abusers, domestic violence. Like, and Pete Rose deserves his place amongst those people. Because is Pete Rose that bad? The Hall of Fame is full of bad people,
Mhm.
people who made mistakes, people who off the field weren't the best people. Pete Rose made a terrible mistake. And people try to like glaze over it, like, hey, well, he was betting on his team. Okay, Pete, you still shouldn't have been betting on, but you shouldn't have been doing it. Okay, I don't care that he was betting on his team. That doesn't make it any better. You know, and
Yeah.
people always kind of gloss over that fact. It's like it doesn't make it any better that he was betting on his own team. He still was
You could
betting
argue it
on.
makes it worse, right,
It
Coach?
makes it makes
Correct.
it work. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like people give him too much of a pass for that. It's like, it's just like, no, he was still betting on baseball. That's still wrong. But I hope he gets in. And like I said, baseball nerds who try to gatekeep the Hall of Fame, let him in, let Joe Jackson in. And serious, you're talking now again, whoever the executors of the state, whatever like that, is like being able to put HOF on your signature or HOF on merchandise that increases the value of it. So even for the Jackson family, who might be his great 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 grandfather, I mean son or daughter, whatever like that, them being able to say like, hey, Hall of Famer Shoeless Joe Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
it means something. It increases any value of anything that has to do with the estate. Same thing with Pete Rose. It's like of the Pete Rose estate can say Hall of Famer Pete Rose, jerseys, autographs, posters, whatever like that with Pete. The fact that they can add that HOF on there, it means something. It increases the value. So again, you say, oh, like, yeah, it's after the fact. It's done. Look, they need to be in the hall, and I just hope somebody attached to them in their family or whatever like that can finally reap the benefits that these men didn't get a chance to get while they were here.
That's the thing that bothers me though, man. Like they had the opportunity to get this right and chose not to. And again, I understand your point, Coach. Like, when I pass on, I hope I'm trying my best to leave a legacy from my two kids, your
Hmm.
kids. When it's your time, villain. Larry. We're all fathers
I
here.
ain't going nowhere.
I'm just saying. What I'm saying, you came on the you came on the show talking about my neck, my back, and what I'm saying, so it's cool.
Yeah,
But
150,000.
but like it bothers me that they didn't get a chance to enjoy it while they were here, and now again, their kids.
Isn't that the point,
next...
though? That's the point what Coach was saying.
No,
it was a lifetime
because
ban. No, I mean from the standpoint, it was a lifetime ban. He was because here's what I look at it, and I know unks out there about the vibe too, but when it happened in the 80s, 70s, well in the 80s, they were unforgiving, right? And it was an unforgivable offense. The integrity of the game. We're protecting the integrity
like
of the game.
Scarlet Letter, so like
yeah, and now it's like different. Like we're at the point where like we don't give a F about the game. Like we do, but like not like you do. Like the integrity of the game. What are we talking about? We got umps that blow calls. We got dudes that half-ass it. You know what I mean? That don't want to play in the All-Star game or give their best in the All-Star team. What integrity of the game? So like, what are we talking about with Pete Rose? You know what I mean? Like it's just a different era that we live in. Like I think it's not even a forgiving era. It's just like, it's not as serious as people tried to make it. Like because baseball is all about history and all about like the nostalgia of it. Like everybody, you couldn't tell me the number. What's the sack number record for a season?
22 and a half.
22
The
and a
sack
half.
number. Yeah, like, but like, if you don't go
your boy
around,
Strahan got it.
Yeah, but you don't go around saying 22 and a half. If you go around in sports and say 61, you know what that number means, right? Like, seriously. Like, it's all about records. It's all about stats. You know what I mean? Like, 3,000 hits is a watermark. 500 home runs is a watermark. 61, with an asterisk. You know what I mean? Is a number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's different in baseball. The numbers mean something. So, the long-winded answer is just like it's just a different era now. Like, kids don't really. I know the number for home runs in a season, but like that number doesn't mean the same to me anymore. 73 doesn't mean the same because it's quote unquote tainted. right? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just
I love 73, and I'm gonna stick with 73.
oh, of course, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? As like when Babe Ruth had 60, that's a different number
But you know
when
what?
30s and
I mean, but
I'm gonna
20s.
jump. I'm gonna
do I
jump in
mean
a
do
bit.
we
I'm
all
gonna
know
jump in a
why?
second
Do we
there.
all know why they put the asterisk by Maris's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Yeah, we all
The
know.
same
you
reason he
know,
got death threats. You
you
know what I
know,
mean?
Correct.
yeah, yeah. The same. What
but
very similar to the reason why Hank Aaron got death threats when he was
yeah,
approaching similar record.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
you
just
can't
like,
tell me no black kid back then didn't know what 744
but
meant. You know what I mean? Like,
mhm.
no, but you know what?
different.
I want to jump in real quick, and I'm gonna say this right. So just talking about the Pete Rose aspect of it, right?
Mm.
And this is where I've always been on Pete's side, right? When you get voted to the Hall of Fame, can you get voted in as a player? Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If you go on to manage, can you get voted in as a manager? Yes, you
sure.
Yeah.
can.
Hmm.
Dude, we literally got one right now. Well, one that was with the Astros. What's called? He's gonna probably be in as both because he finally got a ring. Um, see, I'm having a brain lapse right now.
Dusty
Astros
Baker,
ring. Yeah,
Dusty?
Dusty. Yeah,
Dusty
Dusty.
Dusty
Baker.
Baker.
Dusty's gonna go in as a manager because he finally got a ring. Like I said, so why
And
would they
deservedly
ban?
so.
So why would they keep Pete Rose, the player, out from something he did as a manager? It wasn't even like he did it as
Petty
a
punishment. It
yeah,
was
it's a heavy
Right.
punishment, and I get it. They came down hard on him, right? So I just always feel like that should have been the resolution. Even when he wrote that letter, it should have been like, okay, Pete, you can't go in as a manager. You may not have the numbers to even go in as man, but you can go in as a player, right? Because I look at it from this standpoint, and this is just me. I don't speak for nobody else on this show. Who was one of the first people to go into the Baseball Hall of Fame? Ty Cobb.
Babe?
You know
Oh,
what Ty
correct.
Cobb is known for?
Yeah.
Ty Cobb is known for hitting and being a
and
absolute racist piece of shit. That's what Ty
we
Cobb
all
is
know
known
that.
for.
We all know that.
Noted racist, right? But at the same time, people are so all into like Babe Ruth's numbers and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, you only played against players that look like you. I've never counted any of their records because you can't say you're the best when you only play against a certain select number of people. And these are the
Mm.
same assholes that sat up here when they were saying, oh, you know what? Maybe we should merge the records between the Negro League and MLB. And they want to talk about
Mhm.
integrity of the game when people coming out over just saying, well, maybe we should just merge the records because we know at that time we were racist as hell. And they
Mm-hmm.
the same people that came out now and they were like, oh, we need to protect the integrity of the game and not have Pete Rose in and all this other stupid shit. Nah, I'm going CK mode. Screw that crap. They wanted to purposely mess him over, make an example of him because baseball is one of the most hypocritical sports there is, bro. It's always been like that. It's one of the most
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
hypocritical sports. And like I said, and even now, I'm kind of like Steve. Yeah, he's eligible, but I got a feeling they're gonna be like, you know what? Well, he been eligible for only 2 years, so you know what? We got more deserving people.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Yeah.
know how these,
Yeah.
you know how they do. Oh well, he fell 3 votes
Well, he'll get in
short.
through the committee. He'll get in through the
Yeah,
committee type thing. You
I
know?
mean, but even the committee, it'd be like, you know what? Hey, he fell three shorts vote. Maybe he'll be on there next year.
Look, there's 16 people on the committee. You know how many people have to say yes on Pete Rose? 12.
12.
Crazy. That's crazy. And it'll be like
Small
11, and
percentage.
one guy be like, you know what? Pete
Nah.
didn't sign my baseball when I was
Hmm.
My
coming
wife
up
didn't
in
give
the
me.
red.
He didn't get.
Hmm.
Everybody be
Yeah,
mad
yeah,
about that.
yeah.
You know,
So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not a slam dunk or a home run to use the proper cliche for the
Analogy.
sport we're
Yeah.
talking about. That Pete Rose gets it's again.
dude.
Do the right thing. Do the right thing, peeps. Do the
The,
right
the
thing.
only the only Hall of Fame that I even people say they too lackadaisical. The only one Hall of Fame I really even have respect for right now is basketball because when baseball has to put out reasonings why they do not vote somebody in, and they have to go by person of the reason why they didn't put them in. It's a fucking joke. It's a
Well,
joke.
then basketball's on the other side of the spectrum, Larry, where it's like, have you ever picked up a basketball? you might be on the way to Springfield if you have.
I mean, I
Right.
get
You
it, bro.
know?
I get it. I get it, but I'm just saying. But it's like, man, we criticize basketball because we're like they're too lenient. They let anybody in, right? But it's always guys that you arguing and be like, oh, they had a good career, or it was, borderline or something like that. But meanwhile, when it comes to like, football's gotten football, but baseball is the only sport that they literally have to go to the voters and give the reason why. What kind of crap is that, bro? Like, dude. Oh man, you know what? This person fell three votes short. Go to those three players that said, go to those three voters and say why you didn't vote for this guy. And they have to like basically justify it. That right there. Let's know.
Well, I've
I mean,
said
we
this
had
before. I've said this before, and I'll jump in here real quick. I've said this before when we talked about Hall of Fame and stuff like this, like in shows past. I just feel like they should have to all go to Cooperstown and look people in the face and be like, "This is why I think Roger Clemens don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. This is why I think Barry Bonds shouldn't be, Rafael Palmeiro, or whoever." I feel like if that was the case, it'd be a little bit harder for them to look people in the face in that room like they have to do with football, where they have to all go to Canton, they have to stand up in front of everybody and be like, "This is why this person don't belong in the Hall of Fame."
Look, I'll go
you know
even
what
further.
it's
He was never
what
convicted. Dude actually wanted to meet with them with his attorney. Gary Sheffield got 500 home runs and don't even get a vote. But he was the asshole, and they knew. He was like, man, screw y'all, don't even get a vote. His name don't even come up.
you knew baseball was a piece of work when somebody like Ichiro Suzuki had people not vote him 100%.
Don't get me
People like
started on that. Jeez.
what I'm saying, Derek
What
Jeter
game was
not
y'all looking
100%.
at? What game was
Like,
y'all looking at?
come on now, bro.
Come on,
It
bro.
was full of crap then.
Yeah, like man, like this dude literally came in the league hitting 300 first season. Like, bro, what game was y'all looking at?
Yeah.
Crazy work.
Meanwhile, somebody leading the league right now batting 260.
Well,
We talked about
pause.
that.
Aaron Judge is over 400.
I mean, that's not what I meant, but I'm just saying these dudes are.
Give respect to the
Aaron Judge is he's the outlier right now, but
right.
most of these guys are batting like
Guys.
230. They betting like 230 right now, and that's like
everybody else. You batting 230, you getting 200 million.
Yeah, you're a good hitter batting
Yeah,
246.
I talked about this in the group chat. It's like they were showing the lineups and they were showing everybody's like batting averages, and I was like, "Oh, I was like,
Do you
"Jeez."
remember the 90s, like when you saw like an all-star lineup, everybody was at least over 320?
It was
It
like
was like, yeah, it was like
320,
315. Yeah, yeah.
341.
Yeah.
You had Tony Gwynn who stayed in the 380s, 390s. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. It's like Tony Gwynn go out there and he have a slump for 2 weeks, and it's like, well, he's still hitting 375. It's just
I go even further.
My
Besides
Tony Gwynn
Judge
picture's
this
right
year,
there. See it?
besides
Right up
hey,
there.
besides Judge this year, when the last time have y'all known a player even chase 400?
John Olderud. That's the last person I remember.
Yeah.
my
It's been a
man,
long time.
No, but I mean
Luis,
that's the last one I remember.
Yeah.
John Olderud when he
But it's
was
been a
400.
long time.
yeah, Luis, I forget how to say his name. He played for the Marlins. He played for the Padres now, the
I know you're
shortstop or
talking
whatever
about.
like that. Yeah, he was flirting with it for a while. I mean, but then he kind of died down toward the end. But like, that's the last person I can think of that even well, you could even entertain it, because you need somebody hitting 390 something late in August to even like get excited about
Yeah.
the prospect of that. Because it's just
Yeah, so you can't. So when you see stuff like this happening today, you can't discredit these guys from back in the day, and they was consistently hitting three some year in year out, year in year out. No, bro, I'm not gonna take nothing away from Pete Rose, man. Hopefully he get in.
Yeah, I mean, because baseball is a game where, and my uncle told me this a long time ago when I was young. Baseball is a game where if you can get a hit a third of the time, you're elite. You're one of the best. You're one of the best people in the sport if you can get a hit a third of the time. So it's just so for somebody who goes out there and would get hits at almost like superhuman rate, is just like it's crazy in a sport where yeah, you get it done a third of the time in a batter's box, you're golden. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving right along, man. I expected that topic to kind of go in the way it did. With that being said, we got a surprise entry. CK has made it to the building. What's going on, CK? How we doing, sir?
You on mute. You on mute, brother.
Old people.
Unmute.
The button.
There we
There
go.
we go.
All right.
Start to give you a finger.
There we go.
What's going on, fellas?
What up, big
What's up?
dog? We are actually just getting ready to finish up talking about this Pete Rose Shoe Jackson nonsense. Figured, with you sitting here, man, I figured you get your opportunity to say what you got to say, man. Where's your head at with it?
I heard what y'all was saying. I agree with most of it. See, I didn't have a problem with Pete Rose getting banned initially. And the reason I didn't is because he broke the cardinal rule. There's one rule when you walk into any clubhouse, high school, college, you name it, minor leagues, independent. No gambling. There's one rule. He broke it. Okay. And when you say he bet on his team, then I go to, well, how many pitchers' careers did he ruin because he left them in the game because he was trying to win that bet?
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I mean. It's worse when it's your team.
So once he hit 20 years removed, it was time to let him in. See, to me, that's a lifetime. 20 years is a lifetime when you're talking about being away from something that you've done all of your life. He played sports from the time he was maybe 6 years old?
Yeah.
And he's 20 years removed from it. That's a lifetime. And the fact that C-League wanted him to, you can't go to casinos. You can't gamble. You don't get to dictate somebody's personal life, man.
And that's how he was making his money too. That's literally how Pete was making money with these appearances at these casinos and stuff like that.
Yes. So you want to cut off his income stream. You want to make him beg. Basically, C-League was basically trying to ground him into the dirt. So Pete said, no, I'm not doing that. He said, I'm not doing it. It's foul. The whole way this thing was done was foul. The initial penalty was fair. Once you got 20 years removed, it just became a thing of we want to punish you because we can. Just because we can. This is personal now. Because you made Bart Giamatti feel bad, so now we're going to punish you for the rest of your life. Literally for the rest of your life. And the worst part is he can't even get in it for another 2 years until 2027. Because of the time that he played, the committee that gets to select him doesn't reconvene until 2027. So even now you're still screwing the man and he's dead. You're screwing him and he's dead. You're still screwing him.
Jeez.
Because this should be, we putting him on the ballot right now. We putting Shooters Joe Jackson on the ballot right now.
Dang, the ballot, you the commissioner, veto this crap. Hey, put his ass in there.
But see, that's the thing. The Baseball Hall of Fame could have put Pete Rose in years ago. They chose not to because there is nothing in the Baseball Hall of Fame guidelines that says they couldn't have put Pete Rose in. They chose not to. They made a choice. So see, Manfred can say whatever he wants. The Hall of Fame still has to do the right thing. They still got to do the right thing.
And that's what I said. Yeah.
And will they do the right thing? That remains to be seen. But I agree with like I said, pretty much everything y'all said. For Shooters Joe Jackson's family and for Pete Rose, because the other 8 people who got off that ban list, there's 8 other people, by the way.
No, it's 14.
No one knows who they are. No one remembers them, okay, except for one pitcher who was a knuckleballer, Cicotte. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm gonna say Chickett, but I'm probably butchering his name. And a guy who played for
it was most of the Black Sox. It was the Black Sox people. So you had
pretty much the Black Sox. Yeah.
Yeah, one owner, and it was an owner who got banned from gambling. So
I mean, you know who the Black Sox people are because of the book and the movie, right? So like there is that synergy between that. So, but what's surprising, that all of a sudden all the Black Sox people got removed. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's funny that they, like I said, even in death you're screwing them because you couldn't just take Pete off. No, we're gonna lump you in with everybody, bro, because you're not that special. This just it's just another way for them to screw the man, and he's dead. But yeah, I'm glad that he's off the list. Now let's see if the Baseball Hall of Fame does the right thing, and
Yeah,
we know they probably won't.
because to
Yeah.
Chadwick's point, Manfred could have, because you're the commissioner of baseball. You run baseball. He could have said Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson in the Hall of Fame. Have a good night, everybody.
Right now.
You know.
The end. Yeah.
Yeah.
The end. Yeah.
Y'all right to do what I say. Y'all right to do what I say, and we good. See y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, who would have argued it? Like, to be honest with you, you got the old-fashioned people,
The purists, man. I mean, the biggest issue I had are these purists and these.
But what is a
unwritten
purist?
rules?
Yeah,
These
you know,
unwritten rules of baseball and stuff.
Purists don't exist anymore. Like, do they really exist?
The purists are the new analytics people. But here's the piece: even the analytics clowns, right? Shoeless Joe Jackson is still top 10 in WAR all time. That made up stat WAR. That made up stat WAR. That no one knows what the hell. Wins against replacement. What replacement? If I'm replacing Tony Gwynn with George Brett, okay, on what replacement? It's a made up stat. But Shoeless Joe Jackson is still top 10.
Now, look, I'm not a big analytics guy, but WAR does have its place because it's like, okay, how much better are you than the average person at the position? That's why WAR is important, because that's what WAR means. Wins
I
above
know what it
replacement.
means,
So
but
if we put an average first baseman at first base, how much better is Frank Thomas than that average first baseman?
But what do we
You know,
call an average? See, now we get into the whole thing of what do we call an average? You understand what I'm saying? And
well, I
that's
mean,
why I don't
yeah.
like war, because my average is not your average. You know, my average might be I want a guy who hits 280 with 25 home runs, 95 RBIs, and plays Gold Glove defense. Your average might be a guy who hits 260 with 40 home runs and 120 RBIs.
Well, I mean,
Who's average?
the average is so different now, just like we were talking about. I don't want to belabor it too much because the average in the 90s is different than the average today, right?
And that's why I don't like war. But even with that, right? Even with that, Shooter Joe Jackson still top 10. No matter whose war you use, he's still top 10 all the time.
356.
Come on, man.
356.
Like I said that earlier, I was like, he is still top 10 in batting average.
Yeah, you mentioned that
all
earlier.
time, still.
All time. So let's hope in 2 years the Hall of Fame does the right thing.
I hope they do that.
Like Spike Lee, do the right thing.
They do that right now.
Man, we are one game away from it feeling like 97 in the East Finals, man. Ooh, baby.
Well, I mean, it's a WWE match, dog. A WWE match. We've seen this already. We've seen this already, man. But moving right along.
Bing bong.
I'm done with this guy. We'll get to them in a minute. The highway robbery of 2025 took place yesterday, where the Dallas Mavericks have won the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. I'm gonna say, you know what? Larry, talk to me, man. Where's your head at, bro?
Nah, man.
Don't let him go first. He's gonna shut the whole damn show down.
Y'all go.
Listen. First of all, I got to do this. Prayers up to Jason Tatum and to Oswald Cabrera. Two crazy injuries in the same night. I heard what happened with Oswald, but it was late. It was a West Coast game. When I saw the highlight, and I think I looked at my phone and Unk had a message in there, and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that was tough.
And I think it's a fractured ankle or a broken ankle.
Yep.
God, you just don't like to see that. But for the draft lottery, it's the stimulus package. Like I said, man, like, and it's not a coincidence. Larry, hipped us on the game where it's happened before. I think the Cavs got 2 first-round picks after they lost their king. Go James. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how the Mavericks, or the less than 2% chance to get the draft lottery, lands the best player in the draft. Now, listen.
They won the WNBA and the NBA draft. They got Paige Beckers, the Dallas Wings.
Part. I mean, and I can't hate because, you know what? I love me some Paige Beckers as I watch my girlfriend on NXT about to hit the ring, Stephanie Becker. Sorry, coach. Um, listen, it's a pretty good trade-off. Luca, who is a lazy, out of shape, basketball player, and you get an absolute dog in Cooper Flag that has no problem playing both ways, works his behind off. So it's a pretty fair trade-off, if you ask me. But like, dude, how do you get that pick? How does it happen? Like, it's like not only that, and it's so funny when I'm listening to pundits talk about how every other league should adopt this format of giving the top 3 teams equal chance to get the number 1 pick. It stops from tanking. But I'm like, dude, a team like the Jazz or the Wizards that absolutely need a player like Cooper Flag are aced out. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, who in the world would ever voluntarily go to Utah or voluntarily go to the Wizards right now? Nobody. So their only hope to get a transcendent franchise-changing player is through the draft. Top 3, a team that got probably arguably the next one in Wemby. You got a team in Philadelphia that's a big market team, even though they don't know how to draft. Their process is a joke. They don't know how to draft. But I mean, and then you get the Mavs, like,
who was in the NBA Finals a year ago,
and trading one star for another. It's really. I understand that you want to stop teams from tanking because of what Philadelphia did, but teams like the Wizards and teams like the Jazz absolutely need the draft. They need it, and it's just not fair.
Can I jump in here? Because
go,
Barry said something. See, the nonsense about, oh, we don't want teams tanking, but you want parity.
Yes.
But you want parity.
Yeah.
So the reason that the NFL does it the way they do it is because it creates parity. Because you have a team that can literally go from worst to first, depending on who's coming out in the draft. And we've seen it happen.
For Washington, Look at what did for Washington.
We can go Redskins. We can go to the Colts when they got Peyton Manning. The Broncos when they got John Elway. Dude, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay. Now, if you draft the wrong guy, that's on you. But you have an opportunity to get exponentially better than you were by drafting first, which now creates parity because that team now has an opportunity to make the playoffs, which means that fan base is more engaged, which means that people are buying more merchandise, which means there's more revenue, ad revenue dollars, so on and so on and so on, right? And you're creating parity because there are more teams involved in a playoff chase. Basketball is saying, well, no, we want parity, but we want parity only for certain teams. Okay?
It suits our needs.
The 76ers were going to be a playoff team with or without that lottery pick. With or without that. Now, they might not win a damn thing in the playoffs, but that's a playoff team. It's presently constituted. That is a playoff team. We all know we don't like Joel Embiid because he's lazy, da-da-da-da-da. But if you look at that roster, tell me that's not a playoff team. It is. Okay? It is if everybody stays healthy. That's a playoff team. All right? The San Antonio Spurs this coming season with De'Aaron Fox, that's a playoff team. So you're telling me that it's beneficial to the sport to have playoff teams get better and terrible teams stay terrible. How is that beneficial? Unless, I don't know, you want owners to sell the team and move so that the NBA can get that relocation money? Because that's the only way this makes sense. That's the only way this makes sense for you doing it this way is if you're trying to get rid of some of those markets. That's the only way it makes sense. Because how in the hell have the Washington Wizards never won the draft lottery, bro? Never. How have they never won the draft lottery?
And they stink.
Ever.
They giving away tickets out here in the Metro, bro.
You see what I'm saying? Ever.
You can't tell me it wouldn't work in Washington. Like,
that's statistically impossible. That is statistically
the last time
impossible.
The last time it was
won the
draft
lottery before, was it Kwame Brown?
No,
No,
John Wall.
no.
John Wall?
John Wall.
Yeah,
John
they
Wall.
won.
How
Yeah,
many
Wall,
years ago was that?
That's quite a while.
quite a while
But they
now.
had Kwame. They had Kwame Brown. They had John Wall.
The Spurs have won it multiple times since then. The Cavaliers have won it multiple times since then. The
The
Mavericks have won
Magic,
it a couple of times since then.
the
You
Magic
understand what I'm
won
saying?
a couple
Bro,
times. Yeah,
listen, I know I know the dementia's messing up my brain. I can't really do math anymore, but I'm still pretty sure, okay, that statistically there's some high ass numbers and why them things ain't happening. All right. And you were talking about, well, it would take too many people to rig it. Miss me with all of that. Okay. Miss me with all of it because it doesn't add up. It's not
Mhm.
adding up that you continually have teams that are already playoff fringe teams or playoff contending teams winning the lottery because they have one bad season. Because they have one bad season. And suddenly they're exponentially better. The Mavericks 2 seasons ago were in the NBA finals, if I'm not mistaken.
Last year.
Right?
Last year.
Last year.
Okay. So they missed. So they have one bad season and they get the lottery. That shouldn't happen. That's not supposed to happen. Oh, by the way, Cooper Flag should be playing in Charlotte because
thank you. I
don't you
was just about to
energize?
say that.
Don't you energize that fan base? Go ahead, Steve.
The Hornets are the team that lost the most out of this. It's like
They needed him the most.
they needed him the most. Now again, it's like the team that needed him the second most is the team I don't care about. That's the Utah Jazz. But we'll talk about that. Like, like
Sure.
serious Larry know how I feel about. We all feel the
Mhm,
same way about the
mhm,
Jazz. It's
mhm.
like
Mhm,
screw the Jazz. But
mhm.
like again, you talk about trying to save teams and save markets. It's like, the Duke kid playing in Charlotte.
Ooh,
Like
that
that would
makes
not have
sense.
like
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense. It's like, I mean, people in the NBA, look at a map. Look where Durham, North Carolina is. Do you know that Charlotte is also, now Charlotte is very close to South Carolina, it's right on the border, but it is still in North Carolina. Okay.
Mhm.
But it's the Carolinas. You know what I mean? Like
So, but
it
it's the
makes perfect
Carolinas.
sense.
There is no team in. It's like the second biggest team in the Carolinas basketball is South Carolina women's basketball. The
Yep.
Hornets, the Hornets are struggling.
The
Mhm.
Hornets are arguably not even top 5 in the Carolinas.
This is their second go. So yeah, so Duke, Carolina, South Carolina women's basketball, NC State, Hornets.
Clemson football. Clemson football.
Wake Forest.
Yeah,
Wake Forest.
we're just talking basketball. Yeah,
We're just
like the
talking
Hornets are
basketball.
very,
Like
yeah. We're
it's not
talking
even top 5.
basketball. Yeah, yeah. It's like we're talking like just in the triangle, just in that
Right.
area. So the Hornets needed this bad, and they don't get it, and it's crazy because look, we can sit here and speculate. It doesn't seem right, and the NBA will come out like. I'm sure David Stern probably wants to come out of the grave and choke all of us who are talking
Mhm.
about conspiracy theory. You know, it's like Stern would have heads on a tray for all of us talking about, like, 'cause I think we all remember how, like, David Stern ruled with an iron fist. And at the mere fact of you even thought about saying anything about collusion or something being
Mhm.
fixed, he will, like, I remember when and this is a long time ago, I remember when he was on the Jim Rome show, the old sports
Oh
talk.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jim Rome just was like joking, like, hey, so like the lottery, this is rigged, right? And you guys still rigged. And he's like, yeah, so are you still beating on your wife, Jim? And it's like, whoa, commish, whoa. So look, I'm upset. And the thing that upsets me the most is not even the Mavs. It's like, how in the hell do the Spurs get the number
It's
two
the number
pick?
2.
Yeah.
That's the thing
They got the
that
last 2 rookies of the year. They got De'Aaron Fox, and they got the number 2 pick. They better be trading that too. They better trade that pick.
They're not going to. They're going to draft them.
Who?
but see, that's the thing. Look, they don't really need Harper. They got De'Aaron Fox. They
That's what I
don't,
mean. Like they don't. If they were smart, they would use that number 2 pick to try to get Giannis if you wanted to go there. That's what I would
jeez.
do.
Ooh, stop,
Oh,
He
sir,
used the
sir,
jeez.
sir,
second and the 14th
sir,
pick. I
sir,
use both
sir,
picks.
sir, So
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
that's
let's
what
not
I'm
forget.
saying. I
Let's
would
not forget
package
they
both
got the
picks.
14th pick as well. They could package 214, a couple other players, and
It's,
yeah,
let me
and they
put the
sitting on
numbers
a
back
bunch
up
of
real
more
quick.
first rounders from other trades.
Yeah, that's what I
Mhm.
mean. Like,
Yeah,
even
I'm
though I
seeing
don't
it.
think Giannis would want to go, why wouldn't he want to go there now?
Yeah, he
Why
did
wouldn't
that
he?
2 and 14. Good God.
I mean, like the Spurs of the United Nations. You know what I'm saying? He would love it there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like if somebody look. I'm a Houston guy through and through. Y'all know that. As somebody who's been to San Antonio, not a bad place to live. Larry been to San Antonio. San
Yeah, not
Antonio,
bad.
not a bad
Yeah,
Don't
place.
let
not
don't
bad.
let Charles
Not bad at all.
Barkley hear you say that
It's
though.
not bad at all, to be honest with you. The houses, man, he could probably buy like half of the city for like a couple of 100,000. You know, his
Yeah,
house would be
yeah.
amazingly out of control. Yeah,
Literally buy a castle for
yeah,
like $300,000.
yeah,
Like so, it's like yes.
yeah, yeah. You put
Well,
a moat
Charles
and
Barkley
everything
in
in the
no
house.
position to talk about nobody being too big with his fat ass, so I ain't trying to hear
Man,
that.
No, man, you know how he
my
laid
my
the
boy,
pipe on
my
San
boy, my
Antonio.
boy
You know
Chuck
how
on
he
them
Give me a
how he
GLP
laid
big,
the
guy,
give me a
pipe
man.
on
big
He
woman
him.
getting
any day, bro.
he getting his hems on, man. Chuck should be skinny a little bit, man. Y'all should get off of Chuck, man. Hmm.
Man, look, hey, I'm gonna say this, y'all, and y'all gonna be like Larry crazy, man. Dude, they don't even show the ping pong balls anymore.
They used to
That's how
show the ping
No,
they
pong
used
they
to show it. They
balls.
don't
They
even
don't
show
do
it
it
no more.
anymore.
That's how you know. I'm gonna tell you what, and like I said, I'm not saying what the NBA is doing. I'm not saying what they do. I've told people this numerous times. If LeBron does not go to Miami and stays in Cleveland, he will never have a championship. But I also say that because I say this, right? Cleveland, people forget they actually won the lottery 3 out of 4 years. They
Yeah, because
literally traded.
Nick Gilbert and his little bow ties were going out there and was like, "Hey,
They,
man, you know, I
yeah,
don't know what's going
hey,
on."
look,
Yeah,
look. People think I'm crazy when I say that because I tell them I say they would have never had Kyrie. They would have never had Andrew Wiggins and Bennett, who nobody even know that he was the number 1 pick to
Trash
trade for
pick,
Kevin Love.
trash pick,
But he was
trash
but
pick.
they
at the
used that
time he was the
Wiggins
number
pick
one
to get
pick, and
Love.
people thought he had
yep.
potential.
Hmm.
So they traded. The Rockets had been trying to fleece Kevin Love for years. Minnesota was like, nope, no, 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 no. Oh, here come Cleveland with 2 number 1 overall picks. Oh yeah, you can have him. Go ahead. Like I said, how in the hell does a team like Cleveland win 3 out of 4 years? Right?
Mhm.
And then now they want to come out with the memes about it. I've been saying this for years. Oh, I got into a whole argument with somebody about Chris Paul getting traded out of New Orleans. Oh, that would never happen. This and this. Yeah, Chris Paul gets traded out. You know what happened? They win the number 1 pick, and AD's coming out. You know what happened when AD got traded? It's a guy named Zion coming out, and all the New York Knicks fans was like, "He's coming to New York.
Yep,
Coming to
there we
New
go.
York."
Hmm.
So pump your brakes a little bit, though. Pump your brakes. Like I said, it's ironic how you see these things, but what pisses me off the most out of all of this NBA, I'm gonna say conspiracy theory, but it don't look like a conspiracy theory. It looks like orchestrated. The part that pisses me off the most is how in the hell the Rockets had 3 horrible seasons and didn't win one goddamn lottery. Not a
No.
one. Not a. I'm talking to us Rockets fans on this show. What would that team look like with Bonchero?
Don't talk to me
Man,
about it. Don't
we
talk to me
would
about it.
we would still be
Look,
playing right
we
fucking now.
Larry, we talked about this. We
We would
agreed to
still
not
be,
talk about this.
we would
Yes,
still be playing
you
right now. Then,
there's an alternate universe where the Rockets have Paolo Banchero and Cade Cunningham.
dude,
Oh,
I'm just saying, bro, dude, like man, like it's crazy, dude. How even the Sixers had a number 1 pick. Like,
Multiple number 1 picks.
how in the hell do you not get at least one? At least one. Like, I get it. The NBA, they want certain players in certain places, and I get it. But like, I see why Michael Jordan was like, screw this crap. They ain't gonna never give him. Charlotte done been in the lottery so many times when he was the owner. Ain't not a once, not a now, not another, not a once got their number 1 pick. How many of these players are Jordan players that would have loved to go play for Michael Jordan? And say, you know what? I'm gonna go play for my idol. You know what? I'm gonna be the number 1 pick. Charlotte's in the lottery. Yeah, I think you might have hold up for that a second, bro. We don't want no players in Charlotte.
I mean, but this is a bigger issue, and like we can
But
kind of move. Like it's just like this is Charlotte's second go round with a basketball team. People
yeah,
like, I
Hmm.
mean, let's not forget that. It's like this
Just
is
the Bobcats and now the Hornets.
this is really weird. Okay, the original Hornets leave, get the Bobcats. Now they're the Hornets again or whatever like that. It's like this is like, and a lot of people don't know this. This is like Atlanta in hockey. It's like Charlotte is
yeah.
becoming where it's like they keep putting hockey teams in Atlanta. They keep putting hockey teams in Atlanta. Almost like Chandler said, almost like, look, Atlanta's a placeholder. We really want to put this team in Winnipeg. We really want to put this team in Calgary, but we'll put them in
Like
Atlanta first. You
money
know, like
laundering.
yeah, it's
Money
money
laundering.
laundering. It's just like we really want to put this team in Vegas, so we'll put them in Charlotte for a little bit.
But
Don't
you know
forget
what?
Seattle. Seattle's got an expansive franchise coming up.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
look at
so
it. But I look at it from this standpoint too, because y'all know I'm the resident Duke fan on the team. So I do look at it from this standpoint. Cooper, this is gonna be a good situation for him. A real good
Yeah.
situation for him.
oh
I
yeah,
hate it.
right, yeah,
I
Of
hate it
course.
because they're a rival, and it's gonna suck. They can kiss my, you know what. But this is a really good fit for him, and this is the part that pissed me off about the Luka trade. I know I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit. This is the part that pissed me off about the Luka trade. People was like, "Oh, we got to burn down Nico house and all this other stuff," right? Dude, Anthony Davis is gonna be in the Hall of Fame, bro. Real talk.
Anthony Davis is
Like
coming back, yeah.
Luka got traded for another Hall of Fame player. Was he a little bit older? Yeah, he was. But people was acting like they traded him for peanuts. No. And what we all fail to realize as well, Dallas also traded him for another unprotected first round pick. Who knows what that team is gonna look like post LeBron? Dude, that could be crazy. Dallas could mess around and get another top three pick. Real
Well,
talk.
of course they will because that's the way the NBA is set up. You know.
Yeah,
hmm
like real talk. And like, like I say, from the Cooper flag aspect of it, we all know Kyrie's not gonna be back to like December, January. They already said late 2025, 2026. But
Yeah.
on that team with AD, Gafford, like I said, he could actually play like the three. He's not gonna be that guy that he's coming into a team and they're expecting him to be the superstar and lead the team and all this stuff.
hmm
He can actually get his feet wet in the NBA. He don't have to be that guy that's taking all the beating because he
I
got
disagree.
lively. He got
I disagree.
lively. Nah, bro, he got lively. He got AD. He
He
got
doesn't
dude.
have to be, but
Okay,
he
stop,
can be.
stop. See,
Yeah, he
that's the
can.
thing.
He
You
doesn't
keep
have to
saying
be
he's
though.
got AD when we know Anthony Davis is going to miss at least 35 games. Oh,
It
stop.
doesn't
Hold
matter.
on. So you got no. Hold on. You got Kyrie out till at least miss at least half the season. Okay. Who's your other point guard?
I
Who the
don't
hell
think
knows? Hold on.
I don't think AD's
Jason
gonna miss
Kidd
that
may
many
not be the
games.
coach. Jason Kidd may not be the coach because there's already that stuff out there about them maybe wanting Jason Kidd not really feeling what's going on. Okay. If
I think
Anthony
he's
Davis
feeling
isn't
it
there,
now.
Jason
Gafford
Kidd
and
ain't going
Lively
nowhere now.
cannot be
Yeah.
counted on as primary scorers. They cannot be counted as primary scorers, bro. So now you got Cooper Flag and who when Anthony Davis is hurt, and we know Anthony Davis is going to be
Wait,
hurt
wait,
because
wait,
he's
wait.
always hurt.
No. Anthony Davis is hurt when he got to play the five. He ain't playing no five.
He
Anthony
wasn't
Davis
playing.
is good. Anthony Davis is good for
Anthony
about
Davis has
70
been hurt
games.
every year of his career, bro.
No, no, no,
Stop
no,
it.
no, no. When he had Cousins, he played almost that whole
Yeah.
season, bro.
He
When
played
he
the
had
four.
hmm
He played the
Cousins,
four.
because Cousins allowed him to play the four. When he
Yeah, because
had
he don't want to
what's
bang.
the year they won a championship, people were surprised because he played almost the whole season, but he had Dwight and
He
holding
had
down the
Dwight
five,
Howard. Yeah,
holding
exactly.
down the
Yeah.
five.
And
When
he
he
Okay,
was
how
stepped
old
up
is
to
he
play
now?
the
coaching
five,
How old is he
McGee.
now?
he might make
How
McGee.
old is he now?
he's 31.
Okay,
He's
he's going
31.
to miss 25 games next season.
And
Who
that's
else is the
fine.
primary scorer when he
And
misses 25
that's
games?
fine.
I'm sure he's going to miss games, but it's going to be a different dynamic. I
But
mean,
Dallas got some
honestly,
nice
How?
pieces over
What's
there.
tell me the dynamic when he's not there? Who else is going to score besides Cooper Flag?
it doesn't
Clay
matter.
Thompson,
We're not talking
Dinwiddie,
about
they
that.
they
We're
got some
talking.
nice pieces on Dallas, dude. You got to remember that
Yeah,
they
they
was a
do.
playing team.
They do have good pieces, and
They got good
you don't
pieces over
have
there.
to ask Cooper
Tell me
Flag
the
to
and
be
and
the
pieces.
and and,
guy.
Tell me the
and
pieces.
that's what makes this so ridiculous. Like to Larry's point, most of the time the number one pick in the draft has to go into a team and be the savior, be the guy, carry the load. he is going to a situation where he can take his time and cut his teeth, learn how to be a pro. He got a good like veteran. I just good grief, it makes me sick just thinking about
Dude,
this,
try
man.
to get a shot up against.
God,
Try to get a shot
my
up against
God,
Lively, AD, Gafford, and Cooper Flag. They gonna have a damn block party over there.
they're gonna be good.
Dude,
They're
like
gonna
I
be
say,
real
bro,
good.
he don't.
And I can't stand it.
I'm choosing to
I'm
ignore
telling
this
you,
part of the
you're
conversation.
trading a lazy, fat, out of shape,
Sweat
beer
hog,
drinking.
yeah, word to Rick Rude, like
Hey,
Yeah,
and it's crazy.
sweat
You're
hog, like
overestimating what Dallas has, but that's just
Dude,
my opinion.
no, but I'm gonna put it like this, Unc, and this is where I'm gonna go with this. All those Maverick fans, if any Maverick fans watch right now, go kiss Nico's ass. Go
but
yeah,
you know
yeah,
buy him
what?
a
yeah.
beer. Go do whatever he needs to
Nico
do.
ain't do nothing. He ain't do
That's what I
nothing.
mean.
No,
I
He
mean,
ain't
but
do
Nico,
nothing. He ain't do nothing
Nico is going to get credit for
he's gonna get credit for
for
it.
doing nothing.
Yeah, I
Like
know that was the
Listen,
secret part of that trade.
I give Nico credit for having the balls to say, you know what, Luca, I can't win with you, even though you're probably one of the top 3 players in the league. I can't win with you.
can't do
You know,
it.
I
Yeah,
need
Okay,
You
winning.
know
I
we're
what?
going
can't
to
win.
stop
This
acting
is
like he did this in a vacuum.
this is where this is
Ownership made this decision.
no, but this is where I think you should give him some credit because I'm gonna be real with y'all. If Luca was on that team, would they have been in the play-in and made it to the lottery? No, they wouldn't have.
Ownership
No, they
made the
wouldn't have.
decision to trade Luka Doncic.
Yeah, but
Stop
I'm
saying
saying
Nico
if
Harrison
they
like he did
collectively,
this in a vacuum. He
but
did
if
not
they
do this in a
collectively,
vacuum.
well, I'm saying if they collectively made that
But
trade,
he's
they wouldn't have been in this position. So by
he's the same
all
though.
those people making that decision put them in this position. So now, Chandler, I know you may not like Duke players, dude, but Cooper Flag was literally 17, and you getting co-signed on by the whole Olympic team. Cooper Flag is a hard worker. Cooper Flag, like I say, his parents, they stay on him, keep him grounded. This is going to Dallas is better than him going to like LA or New York or one of them. Dallas is gonna be just like he's back in Raleigh. I'm be
I
real
think
with you.
he'd been better off in Charlotte, but that's just my opinion.
He would
yeah.
have, but I'm
Look, look,
I
saying,
think
look. We
Charlotte
all
would
know
have
the
been better
worst
off.
place for him would have been DC. It's like
yeah,
I
He
didn't
got
want
to
him
go somewhere.
anywhere
He got
near
to
the
go
No,
somewhere.
Wizards.
no,
I
no,
didn't want him
no.
anywhere near the Wizards.
As long as Jordan, now that depends on if Jordan Poole is gone, because everybody else on that team, that roster has talent, and the coach is actually a good coach. Jordan Poole is the poison. If they get rid of Jordan Poole and you put Cooper Flag there, that is going to be a fringe playoff team.
No, 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 man.
nah,
It's something in the walls in
dude.
DC.
It's going to take a
You got to
lot.
burn
It's going to
you
take
got
a
to burn
lot.
that thing down and try to build it back up. It's something. Yeah,
But you know
yeah.
what, Coach? To Unk's earlier point, you look at like how the NFL is set up in with the parity and all that stuff. We were saying the same thing about your Texans,
Mhm.
right? They were a dumpster fire of an organization. It took one good draft and
Yep.
they're a
And
playoff
look at
team.
that. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that the Wizards could have recreated that, but hey, it would have got off to a really good start bringing in a
That's
kid
what I'm
that
saying.
really has a
Yeah, it would
good
have been a
work
good. Yeah,
ethic.
it would have been a good foundation to
Yeah,
Yeah,
like turn that
like
franchise around.
Cooper
Of course.
Flag,
Yeah.
to Larry's point, is different. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
yeah.
He's not a kid that's going to come in there. I know we want to talk about Sanders and his attitude and stuff. Like Cooper Flag is a little different. Like he works his behind off. He's the first in line, the first in the gym, last out the gym. Like he's one of those guys. That's why it's such a great thing for Dallas to get rid of a guy like Luka that, honestly takes the preseason and the regular season to get in shape, is overweight, plays slow on offense, doesn't play defense. It gets injured because he's out of shape. And you know what I mean? To go from that to a guy like Cooper Flag, that you never question his motor, you never question his determination. He's built different. He's really built different.
He gonna play. He
Yeah.
gonna play his ass off. And I'm putting like this, dude. I had to go and look real quick, dude. Like I say, Dallas got some talent on the team, dude. Max Christie balled his ass off after that trade, bro. They still got PJ Washington, bro. Dude, they still got Caleb Martin, bro. That was a perfect situation for him to go into with a
Hmm.
good mix of good players, proven vets, and still have some youth on that team too, bro. Like I said, they I think that's gonna probably in hindsight, we probably gonna look back and look at that trade. And like I say, I'm a person when I look at a trade, I look at the fallout from it too. Because if Luka would have stayed, they would have been a playoff team. They would not have been in the lottery. They would have never got Cooper Flag. So by them getting him, keeping AD, getting Max Christie, like I said, he looked really, really good, and they still got another unprotected first round pick. That's not gonna. That looking back, that's gonna probably be like, yeah, y'all need to pump y'all brakes a little bit. That's
I'm
just
not
me.
mad at it. This whole Cooper Flag thing makes my skin crawl because I know where he's going, and as a Rockets fan, I'm not trying to deal with that. But
No,
moving right
not
along,
not great.
Yeah,
since we're
you know
sitting
that
here
wasn't
in
gonna happen.
basketball,
It's a league wide say, we don't want no number one picks in Houston. No, that ain't gonna
since we're
happen.
sitting here talking basketball, man, we did have a series go final. The Indiana Pacers have properly disposed of the Cleveland Cavaliers in a gentleman's sweep. They won that series 4-1. I wanted to talk a little bit about this particular series and parlay that into the other 3 games before we really go banana on some other stuff, man. CK, man, I'm not sure if you saw much of this series, but um, Cleveland is going to be kicking themselves. They had 2 20-point leads, lost both of those games. They had a 19-point lead tonight, lost that one. And they're going home. So talk to me about this, man. Where'd you head out with this series?
Before the playoffs started, I talked about Kenny Atkinson, if y'all remember, and I said
You
this is where
did.
we find out if Kenny Atkinson is the guy that gets you to the party, but now you got to find somebody else to get you in because he don't know the bounces. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't got no money to tip nobody. Kenny Atkinson gets you to the club, but he don't know nobody. He ain't got enough money to tip nobody. Right? And y'all at the back of the line doing this. Bro, this was a team that looked totally unprepared for the lights. This was the number one seed.
Yes, sir.
Right? It's the number one seed. Right? This is a team that kind of sleptwalked through the season. They were beating people down. Right? They were beating people down. And this is going to be the great. Oh my God! They were talking about this was the best Cleveland team ever. They've had some good teams in Cleveland. The Big Z teams, okay, the Mark Price teams, the Brad Daugherty teams. Those were some damn good Cleveland teams. I can go further back if you want. Okay, so Cleveland has had some really good teams. They were talking this is the best one of all, and you look totally unprepared for the situation. That game 2 loss, bro.
Insane.
Bro, how do you lose that game? He missed the free throw, and everybody stood and said, "We're not gonna." If you foul him, he just ties the game. You go to overtime. Instead, you're unprepared. You could see they didn't know what to do. Should we run out? What do we do, coach? And coach over there. I hate to say this, man.
No, you don't.
Kenny Atkinson might need to go.
Damn.
Kenny Atkinson.
Well, unfortunately,
Unc can never run a franchise. Unc can never run a franchise. He'll fire everybody after a season.
Listen, I love Kenny Atkinson. Y'all know this. Y'all know I like Kenny Atkinson.
Coach of the year. He just won Coach of the Year.
So did Thibodeau and Chandler want to get rid of him too. Like,
okay, how many coaches of the years have gotten fired within 2 years?
Dwayne Casey got fired literally right after he won Coach of the Year.
What's my man?
Mike Brown?
Mike Brown. All I'm saying is this: Kenny Atkinson. Yeah, Kenny Atkinson is a program builder. He's a program builder, but he's not a finisher. That's what I saw. I saw a guy who can't finish. Now, is it possible that he can get better? I don't think so. I think we saw the best version of the Cavaliers and Kenny Atkinson this season, and I think this is the best they get. Next season, you got Donovan Mitchell keep running around talking about my ankle hurt, right? You got Kenny over there swallowing the peach pit, right? You got cats coming out there they don't know how to play, bro. Listen, I hate to do it. But Kenny, you got to go, bro. You got to go.
before we move on to the rest of the series, let's pivot to the New York Knicks series really quickly, so that way Villain can go get some medicine. The Knicks are up 3-1. Jason Tatum has obviously he's not going to be in the rest of the series. Villain, talk to me, man. Where's your head at?
All right, real quick with Cleveland, the injuries did them in, but Unc is right. Like they looked kind of unprepared. I think the moment got to them a little bit. But Mitchell was hurt. Garland was not came into the playoffs hurt, and they just couldn't get rolling, couldn't get going. But give the Pacers credit; they're better than we give them credit for. Their brand of basketball is frantic. They get up and down the floor.
Mhm.
They really push the pace. They set the pace and the tone in the game. They did it against the Knicks last year in the playoffs. They almost did it against the Celtics last year. And they did it against the Cavs this year. Halliburton pushes the pace. Their bigs get up and down. They're 48 minutes of hell pretty much, right? Watching them play. So give them credit. They deserve to win it, and I'm glad they closed it out just because I wouldn't want to see them kind of start to fumble the bag. They dominated the series, and they really deserve to win it. In New York, this is what happens when you blow one game. It can ruin the series. When you blow two games, you ain't winning. You cannot blow two games in a playoff series. The Knicks are relentless. They're never out of a game, and they never call off the dogs. And I know Unc likes to give Tibbs hell for it, but it kind of served their purpose a little bit. Like I think one of the things that people were saying, and I think we agreed on it, the Knicks hadn't played their best game the whole series, and they were up 2-1. And then last night, Brunson went off. Mikal Bridges really got it going. Cat had a good game. They really got contributions up and down the line. They took it to the Knicks. I think I was texting a lot of Knicks fans last night, and I said, one of the guys I do the show with, Anthony, Anthony, shout out to you, but like he's one of those Knicks fans that is so pessimistic. Like he was just like, pack it up, we can't win. I was like, I'm gonna come to your house and slap the shit out of you, because it's like you gotta understand, like, yeah, Boston's good, but like all we needed to do in game 4 was keep it close and have Brunson go off. And that's exactly what happened in the third quarter. They didn't let it. I think the largest lead, right, Unc, was 14 points.
Yeah.
They didn't let the game get too far away from them. In the NBA, a 14-point lead, a couple threes, you're right back in the game, right?
Uh-huh.
So they kept it close. The defense stepped in. White cooled down because White went God mode in the first quarter. He cooled down, and then the Knicks started to pick it up. The defense was out of this world, really played well. But you're looking at a Boston team that didn't take advantage of their opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum in the first couple of games didn't take advantage. Jaylen Brown, you're a $300 million player. Where the hell have you been? KP Porzingis, not himself. If he was healthy,
he's sick again.
Yeah,
He's sick again.
Yeah, something's going on. Yeah, like
if he was healthy, this is at the very worst is a 2-2 series. It's a 3-1 series if he's healthy for the Celtics. Horford is playing great, but like you can't expect him to.
Bro.
Exactly, you can't expect him to go hard. When you have a team, especially with their salary, that's built like this. This is a golden opportunity. If you look on the other side with the Pacers taking advantage and beating the Cavs, this is a team that should have got back to the finals, and they're about to be bounced out in 5 games. You don't get very many opportunities to get to the finals. I think the league, LeBron, say what you want, spoiled the league, made it look kind of easy getting to 8 straight finals. That doesn't happen very often. It's hard. It's hard. Michael Jordan, it's hard to get to the finals. And Boston they're going to break this team up. I think they get a reprieve with Tatum because I think you can ensure his contract, maybe play with the money a little bit. But Porzingis ain't coming back. They're not bringing him back.
No, and
It's
with a new
hard.
ownership group, no, not with a new ownership group, they're not.
Absolutely not. You're absolutely right, Chan. So I look at Boston as they blew their opportunity to get back to the finals. But for the Knicks, this is like the best case scenario. I said it, we said it when we talked on the show. I was looking for just 2 games, make it a series. Now I'm looking like, you know what? I want to go to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to do because you don't get many opportunities. The ball doesn't bounce your way so often. The Knicks, I'm not looking past Boston. I'm not looking past Indiana because you got to respect these 2 teams. But if you're a Knicks fan, you're thinking big. You're thinking really big. And I'm here for it because Brunson has proved that he's clutch. I think you can get enough from Cat. I think the 2 wings, Anunoby is he's different. It's different when he's on the court, when he's healthy and on the court. He's a
Mikal
different
Bridges is the guy that I think doesn't get a lot of credit.
Yep.
Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is a plus minus in this series, and Mikal Bridges, he defends his behind off, and then he's a mid-range god. Like, you know what I mean? He gets that little mid-range floater. It's a different feeling. It really is. And you got to take advantage of it.
With that being said, Villain, give us a plug and brother. You should go take your medicine, man.
Yeah, I gotta lay down. My back is killing me. I don't care what you said, Larry. I don't give a damn. All right. Listen, it happens. I don't know how it. You know, I don't know how.
We know how it happened, but it's not. That's not PG for the show. So keep him pushing.
Hey, listen. If I could advocate for hymns, I definitely would.
I'm done with this guy.
My man back flipping off the bureau at home, talking about how I hurt my back. Come on, son.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to the homie Villain, man. Go get your rest, my guy. Well, backing up.
My neck.
Gotta love it.
That's my guy. Going back to the Indiana Pacers Cleveland series, Coach, talk to me. Where's your head at, bro?
So, like, the Pacers, like, I feel like their brand of basketball is like, okay, 1, 2, 3, like that's how they play basketball. They just go out there and it's chaos, it's frantic, it's points, 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 points. We will play some defense because we have to, but defense is just something that we do to eventually get the ball back so we can score more points. You know, and to see this brand of basketball like work in the postseason, because that was my thing with the Pacers. I was like, will this brand of basketball hold up? You know, when the rubber meets the road in the playoffs, and so far it has. Now it is what it is. They've taken advantage of a lot of mental lapses from the Cavs and injuries and just bad luck for the Cavs in general. But again, you have to play 48 minutes of basketball in regulation, and then you have to go out there and play. So again, I sat here right here in this chair that I'm sitting in now, and I was like, hey man, the Cavs could win this whole thing, and they look good. I drunk the Kool-Aid. Like, so I'm gonna give Unc his flowers. He called it, he was right. Kenny Atkinson, like, still a good coach, but he is a guy who, like you said, got the Cavs to the club, got him in the club. They couldn't get in the VIP. You know, and like, just there's a coach out there who lost his job who might be able to get the Cavs in the VIP. You know, so I mean, and I think we all know what I'm talking about there. So it's like there's a coach out there who I think can get the Cavs in the VIP, and I'd be interested to see if that's not one of the first phone calls that's made tonight. Literally, I would make that call right now from the arena right now. Mike, baby, what you doing, Mike? You know what I'm saying? How can we get you to Cleveland tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk to Kenny first, but then how soon can you get to Cleveland? You know, because this is a team that I think needs that edge, needs that kind of that feistiness. And Kenny Atkinson, he's cool. He's a cool dad. He's like, hey, y'all want ice cream for dinner? Fine, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? What up? Where
Mhm.
this Cavs team, I think, needs somebody to kind of, you know,
Put their foot in their behind.
yeah, exactly, for lack of a better
Mhm.
phrase.
Yeah.
So, but like, look, I want to talk about the Knicks. It's just like what the Knicks are doing. It's funny because we talk all the time about like how, oh, Tibbs gonna run him into the ground. Tibbs gonna run him into the ground. Tibbs gonna run. You know what? They're battle tested. It's like other teams are now getting, other teams are getting tired now. The Knicks like, oh yeah, we just getting warmed up, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like we built for this. You know, you know, and that's what that's what I love about watching this Knicks team. They're like nothing like they look at adversity and they're like, okay, whatever. It's like Tibbs had us playing 42 minutes a night against the Hornets in the middle of January. This is nothing. This is a piece of cake. You know, So when things happen here in this series, and again, it's like, like big ups to Tatum. He got a long road ahead of him. I know people personally who's dealt with that Achilles.
Yeah.
It's a long road ahead of him, long tough road ahead of him. And if you're a Celtics fan, you got to feel like, damn, is this our window closing? With our franchise player probably missing all of next season as well.
Yeah.
New ownership group. Jalen Brown making all that money. Um, it's
Disappearing like
just
Jalen Green.
exactly like it must be a thing with the Jalen's.
Mm,
I don't
stupid
know, but
Jalen.
it's just if you're a Celtics fan, man, boy, you just went from being on top of the hill to being down in the dumps
Anything
because
is
like
possible. It was.
yeah, 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 and it's funny how wild this thing these windows. We talk all the time about like these championship windows, like with the Nuggets, the team I'm watching play right now. It's like you it looks like is their window closing? It's barely cracked a little bit. And same thing with the Celtics. The Celtics went to the finals. They should have probably beat the Warriors in that finals. I think they were a better team. It's just the Warriors were more experienced. And then they go back to the finals. They beat the Mavs. But then now it's like, man, like Barry was saying, it's hard. LeBron, like much you say, but he made it look easy. Like I
Mhm.
go to the finals every year. It's no problem. You still have to win these games. You can say what you want to about the East. You still have to win these series. You still have to play these games, and you still got to do it. But yeah, the East, like I said, it's looking like it's gonna be like looking like 97, 98.
Yeah.
Here with Knicks Pacers,
Next
which
Pacers.
I can't wait for because it's two teams who are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Now, again, I'm not counting out the Celtics because stranger things have happened, but it's more than likely we're looking toward that. But we can talk about the West, I guess, later, whatever like that. I'll just go ahead and just slide my West thoughts in here because I don't have a whole lot of thoughts because
Mhm.
really, um, good on the Timberwolves for doing what they're doing to the Warriors. Bravo,
Mhm.
bravo.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. And again, bravo.
keep it going, guys. You're doing amazing. Um, the
The
Nuggets
Lord's
Thunder,
work,
which
man.
don't like Nuggets Thunder has been just fantastic. I have watched every second of every game of this series. It is a series that I care the most about because it has been the most competitive series. It
Mhm.
has been the most drama in this series. It's two really good basketball teams just going at it, two evenly matched basketball teams just going at it. And it's just come down to who's hitting the three, and it's just you look at who like, it's just who's hitting the three. And I think this series is going seven. I think we're gonna see probably I think Denver wins tonight, honestly. But then I see OKC come back. I just think this series is going seven. Um
I
Look,
wanted to
as
so
much
bad.
yeah, I want three more games of this. I really do,
Mhm.
but you know, I'll say this. As much as I want to bag on the Warriors and stuff like that, Curry getting hurt was devastating for them because
Yeah.
it felt as if like the Warriors it was almost like, and we know this as Rockets fans seriously, it was almost like, here we go, they starting to kind of get it together now, they starting to look
Mhm.
like the Warriors of past. It's like Curry got it cooking. Jimmy Butler has kind of found his niche in how to kind of play off Steph. Draymond's doing what he do. And but like Curry going down kind of change this series like big time. But I mean, who cares? It's the Warriors.
Yeah, yeah. That particular series, it's unfortunate because I actually was looking forward to seeing that one because yeah, I like seeing good basketball players go at it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
You
yeah.
got Steph and Ant, the antics of Draymond and Gobert. That series had the opportunity to be what this Denver Nuggets OKC series is.
Hmm.
With that being said, the rest of these games have been not really competitive. To your point, coach, this has been the only competitive series in the second
Hmm.
round. Um, and I think the baby Thunder, as we used to call them,
Hmm.
are really getting battle tested. I think Denver wins the series. To be honest with you, I think that pedigree and that championship DNA that so many people talk about kind of shows itself, even with a filling coach. Um, Jamal Murray in the playoffs is like playoff Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? He
Playoff
just don't
Jamal's a
work.
thing. Playoff
Yeah,
Jamal's a thing. And I think about how are we gonna explain Jamal Murray to our children? It's like, you know what? He ain't really care about the regular season that much, but boy, you see that man in the playoffs.
he didn't care about the regular season. He don't care about international stuff. Get this brother to April basketball, and he turns into basketball Jesus. That man does work. As for the other series, man, the Knicks. Um, if I'm Boston, I'm kicking myself right now because again, you had two 20-point leads and blew them. And I alluded to that same situation with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had two
Hmm.
20-point leads and a 19-point lead tonight. Lost all three of those games. Um, people are going to point to injuries to Garland, but Garland does this every postseason. He does well in the regular season. Come postseason, he doesn't show up. Jared Allen wasn't playing well. The role players that the Cavs relied on so heavily during the regular season didn't pan out
Hmm.
during this particular series.
Oh yeah.
And so, with that being said, Larry, talk to me, man. There's a lot to chew on. You can go west, you can go east. Where's your head?
I mean, this has been my thing, bro. Y'all would say Larry being Larry, dude. These injuries, bro. These
Yeah.
injuries. Dude,
Hmm.
that's the story. That's gonna be the story of these playoffs. Even whoever win the championship, the first thing is gonna come out. Well, Steph Will's down. Does that change that series? Well, people forget that Cavs series, bro. They played literally one game without Mobley, Hunter, and um.
They had a 20-point lead in that game and lost
It
it,
don't
bro.
matter. 20-point leads are like 5-point leads in the NBA now.
No, I get it, but
But
I
They're like
can't let
still,
you.
still,
I
I
can't.
don't
I
think.
can't
yeah, I
let you use
get
Yeah.
that
it.
injury giant.
And I get it, but that's the new NBA. It's like you up by 20, keep shooting threes. They don't realize that you shoot twos and you hit threes. I'm still gonna win because I'm up by 20. They don't do that anymore. So 20-point leads. For us three Rockets fans, we know that's when we get nervous when the Rockets go up by 20 because
Mhm.
20-point leads ain't like 20-point leads back in the day. Because these dudes will keep them, they will shoot threes in and out of the game. They'll shoot themselves in the game and shoot themselves out of the game. But it's like I said, it's the injuries. Like even I'm not taking nothing away because we got Knicks fans on this show, but Boston was up by 20, but Porzingis literally played like 8 minutes. We know that game would have been way different with Porzingis. People forget that but Scott, he's hurt. Not just the fact that Porzingis is hurt. Uh Drew Holiday. Holiday's hurt. He's limping
Mhm.
around the court. You could tell he's still hurt. Old man Horford, he ain't got it. He's playing way too many minutes, but he's missing a whole lot of shots and giving up a whole lot of rebounds because he probably was one of those pieces that they expected him to be a bench guy and not a starter. And Horford has been starting. So I'm not, like I said, the Knicks have been coming back and taking it, but to me, it's like the story of the playoffs is just it's just injury after injury after injury. Tatum didn't do nothing but add to it. You know, I said in the chat yesterday, I don't know why these guys like playing in these, booties. That's what I call them. They like playing in these low. You saw Kobe once he blew out that Achilles. He's like, start
Yep, you
making these
strap that
elites.
up.
Start making these elites. I need that extra. What's it called? Hey, it's a reason.
Yeah.
It's a reason why dudes like playing in high tops, but you see it over and over again. These dudes they want to play in these, these slippers because they think that this gonna make them play better. And I'm like, you need this. Hey, you need that extra lacing around that ankle, around that
Yeah, you do.
Achilles, man. The back of that Achilles need that extra tightening up too. But I mean, like I say, prayers up to Tatum. Hope he get better. But Boston, yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen. Jaylen Brown may go nuclear the next 3 games. We don't know. But it's just like, to me, it's like
He needs to do something. I mean, he ain't done a damn thing this whole series.
yeah, but it's just, well, he's streaky like that. When he get hot, he hot.
Yeah.
But, hey,
And
and I'm
he,
just,
and he plays better when Tatum's not there, which is like,
yeah, which is crazy,
so.
which is crazy.
But
But
I mean, he gets more shots up. So
but one thing I have noticed, and this is one thing that I don't know if y'all noticed, like, and I know we talked about it before with these refs, man, they letting the Knicks like mug them. Like, I'm being for real.
It's
Like,
playoff basketball,
yeah,
Larry.
and I love it, but I like it both ways. Even the Cavs, the Pacers was mugging them. Like, I love playoff basketball. I love physical basketball, but I love it being called both ways. Both ways. Hell, even the Warriors are actually they letting the Timberwolves like basically beat them up, like beat them up. Go ahead, punch him in the throat. Go ahead, Gobert. You want to put him in a chokehold? Put Scotty back in the chokehold. Look for
They're
revenge. Go
letting them
ahead.
go. It's like
Yeah,
like I said, I love it. It's like just let them
hey, I
go.
love it.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen. I think, like, I'm agreeing with y'all. I think this OKC series is gonna be probably the best one. But while we over here, because I said playoff Jamal is a thing. But you know who's having an absolute amazing playoffs? Gordon.
Oh, Aaron Gordon's been balling.
yeah, and going
That
ball.
boy is, man. Oh my, he putting daggers in boys. I'm like, man, but hey, he's always, to me, he's always been more that missing piece on that Nuggets team to me than Porter. Porter's too streaky and he's too, I don't know him. But if Gordon's playing good, they are a hard team to beat, real hard team to beat. So
I mean, when Porter's playing good, they're hard to beat. I mean, but Porter's like still dealing with that shoulder. Like he ain't
yeah,
gonna be right for the rest of the playoffs probably because like
Yeah,
that's a
he's gonna have to get that
yeah
operated on in the offseason.
that's a
yeah,
grimy injury that I know all too much about, unfortunately. So like he
yeah.
ain't gonna be right for the rest of the playoffs. So it's like
And deep down, y'all know. I mean, I think most of the people on this team on the show know how I feel. I know Sirius gonna get mad at me, man, but deep down, man, I want Russ to get one. Hey, deep down, man, I want Russ to get one. And look, how crazy would that be with them firing their coach, them saying, okay, let's get this championship medal. Let's go get this win, and Russ mess around and win a ring. How crazy would that be?
it wouldn't be crazy at all because they're good enough to do it.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's only crazy because they fired their coach with like 3 games left in the regular
Yeah,
season.
like how
You
crazy
know,
would that be to win a championship with an interim coach that basically picked up at the end of the season?
don't doubt the power of Petty.
Yeah,
Never do that. Don't
yeah,
never doubt the power of Petty because it's like the Nuggets would love nothing more to be like, see, Mike, see, we
yeah,
did it without you.
yeah,
We didn't need you. We did this with a interim coach and we're good. Like we don't need you. But so I could see that already good team that really didn't need an extra fire lit under their ass got it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're seeing it play out right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
no
them
way
on
they should be
Monday.
in these games. This is just championship medal
Yeah, it
because
is. Mhm.
OKC is coming at them in waves, and they just like, you know what, that's fine, bring it on. And they, like I said, this is gonna probably be the best series. I wouldn't even be surprised if we'll win this series, go ahead and win it all. Because this, like I say, this is two of the best teams in the league, point hands down.
I need to
Uh,
see to not win it all, sir. I'm just gonna let you know off the rip.
look, I don't want the Knicks. I don't see the Knicks winning, and I don't see the Pacers winning. I feel like whoever come out of the West is gonna win it. I'll be honest with you. I feel like whoever. I don't see the Knicks beating or the Pacers beating the Timberwolves. I don't see it.
Mhm.
I don't see them
I didn't
beating
see.
Nuggets.
I
I
didn't
don't see
see
them beating
the.
OKC.
I didn't see the Pacers beating the Cavs like that.
No, I
The
didn't.
only way I would see it is if injuries kick in on some kind of level, because I mean, let's just keep it a buck. Like when the Cavs went up by 20, if they had Mobley and Garland and Hunter, would they have held on to that lead? Probably so.
Maybe. I mean,
Probably
I said
so.
before the series, I was like, I
Yeah,
felt like one of the most important players for the Cavs would have been Mobley, who, I mean,
yeah.
he got hurt, and then even before he got hurt, Miles Turner was outplaying him, and that was very key,
He
to
was,
this.
but you could tell even when he came back, he was laboring. He was
Yeah,
laboring. But yeah, like I said, I don't think that I think they would have held on to some of these leads. Like, I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from the Knicks, but if Porzingis gets 20 some minutes, they hold on to a couple of those leads.
it's funny because I feel like again, like when I don't want to count the Celtics out because strange things have happened, but more than likely, I keep saying I
Yeah,
want to say that the Knicks again is like the Pacers brand of basketball versus just how the Knicks play. It'd be an interesting matchup. We always talk about like styles making fights. It's like
Hmm.
the can the Knicks run like the Pacers are conditioned to run up and down the court for the whole game. Can the Knicks maintain and keep that pace with the
And they go
Pacers?
seven. And they
yeah.
go 7, 8 deep in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Knicks
So
don't
it's
do
Yeah.
that.
just
They go deep.
no, we know. Yeah, the Knicks.
And like I
Yeah,
say, I don't want to take nothing away from the Knicks, like I say, but we've seen stranger things happen. But you know who else I'm gonna say that's kind of been hurt, but he's a missing piece from the Celtics too, and we don't know if he's gonna play or not. Hauser. Dude, Hauser, they other 3-point killer, and he's barely played what 5 minutes this whole
yeah.
series.
He was a DNP.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
him
Yeah,
last series either.
yeah, he's hurt. He's been hurt a
yeah.
little
He's
bit,
hurt. Yeah.
but I think he's kind of sort of making his way back. But he's their other. The Celtics live and die by a three, and he's
Hmm.
one of their deadliest 3-point shooters. And you just never know how to turn around. I'm not saying that it will. They probably gonna close them out tomorrow.
Mhm.
But like I said, to me, it just seems like this is gonna be one of those playoffs where it's like some unexpected teams make the finals because we're just seeing too many injuries. Who would have known what, like you said, series? Who would have known what this Timberwolves series would look like with Steph?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, Steph said, "Get them low top shoes out of here too." Steph said, "Nah, I need double ankle bracelets and knee bracelets and everything
With
else."
his bad ankles, you
Hey,
shouldn't even
Yeah,
talk
well, yeah,
about
as
it.
yeah,
bad as
his
his
ankle.
ankles are, yeah, he can't take no chances.
Yeah,
No.
he ain't taking no chances on that. But like I said, these guys like Tatum, they want to. And Tatum was going nuclear, bro. I honestly, I thought the Celtics probably had one more run in them. You don't know, but because Tatum
Yeah.
was just, he was. Hey, I'm gonna put it in basketball terms. Tatum was busting their ass last night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because Tatum is one of the best players in the NBA, and I feel like he's a guy who still doesn't get enough credit.
nah,
Like he is a
I
dog.
do.
He is a beast. He is one of the best players in the NBA, and I think because of his personality,
Yeah,
because he doesn't get like the attention or whatever like that. I mean, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so unfortunate just as a basketball fan, not even just
Mhm.
as a Celtics fan, as a basketball fan, to have that guy probably missing next all of next season as well. That
Yeah,
that's
he's
that's,
gonna be
that's a
gone all
shame.
next
I
year.
mean, but that's
Mm-hmm.
because he plays in Boston too. That's if he played in LA or he played in Miami or something, yeah, people would love him. But he plays in Boston, and we all know how Boston is. Boston is always viewed as the evil empire, or as they're always viewed as the beat Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you know, think about it. Even they best players would never like the best known players in the league. Like even at Larry Bird's peak, Magic Johnson was more popular than him. Even at Larry Bird's peak, Michael Jordan was more popular than him. Like, that's like playing for the Pistons and you being one of the best players in the league. Like, people just gonna be like, he plays for the Celtics, he plays for the Pistons. We don't like them
Hmm.
guys, but you know what? It is what it is. I mean, and that's the sad reality of Jason Tatum, is that he plays for an organization that most people hate, most people don't like. You know,
Yeah.
Can't stand Boston.
yeah,
With
can't
that
stand
being
about.
said, we're gonna get out of here this evening, man. I swear to goodness, man, I love doing this show with you guys. We had everybody in the building for a good portion of the time, man. Before we
Mhm.
get out of here, Coach, you know what to do. Shut us down.
Man, look, you already know what time it is, man. It's like if you see the link, share the link. I mean, Spotify, Facebook, X, Instagram, we're all over the place. Make sure that you are spreading the word about the executives view. I mean, we got this, we got the wrestling show, which is popping off. We got all kind of stuff on the network. So make sure you check us out. So you already know the closeout. God is good.
All the
All the time.
time.
Make sure you drink y'all water, stay hydrated out there, especially as the weather's starting to warm up a little bit. And of course, get those dubs up. Wu Tang is for the children. Good night.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, big dog. You know what? I love sharing space with that guy. Larry, you know what to do.
Man, Steve, aka was it Tibbs Tubbs,
It's
Miami
Tip
Vice.
Tubbs.
Yeah, Tubbs in the house, man. Look, hey, that boy out here got me feeling like I need to be in Dade County or something. But nah, man, it's always a pleasure, man. Look, hey, I'm glad we was able to, get in today. I was holding down the rants for CK, but then he got in the building and he's being all calm. We got to see what kind of medication they got him on. He might be over there on,
We gotta
something.
charge him up real quick.
Yeah,
Bring my
man, he ain't
man's back.
charged up, man. He been real docile lately, man. I don't know what's going on. I need my fellow bash brother with me. But yeah, we gonna see what's what. Give Barry some, back medicine, some blue chew or something. I don't know. Hey. But yeah, always, man, always a pleasure, man. Like I say, man, much love, man. We gonna get up next time, bro. I'm gonna keep it
Yes,
simple.
sir. Yes, sir.
Peace.
Appreciate you, big dog. Thank you so much, Larry, for coming by kicking with us, man. It's your boy Sirius, repping that 412 and the 703, man. Such a privilege and an absolute pleasure being here with you guys on tonight. I always say this as I get out of here, but before I do, shout out to everybody coming and rocking with us, man. My friends over at Nonsense and Deep Thoughts, man. Justin, Corey, Aaron, those guys. My best friend Jared, who's helped me out with the ones and twos and different things of that nature. That man, I love doing this, man. I love doing this. So with that being said, I close out like this, man. God is good, even though sometimes people aren't, man. God bless you guys. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.